What's going on, guys? It's your boy Eric Phillips. Thank you again for joining us for another episode of the Meraki podcast. Today I got my boy Duane Leatherberry. This is not just someone that I'm just interviewing. This is a brother, confidant, and a real true gentleman. And I'm super proud to have you, man. Thank you for coming on to the show, bro. So I guess we'll get started by telling us who you are, bro, and tell us a little bit about your upbringing.
Who I am. Well, thank you so much for that intro, and thank you for having me on here, Eric. Man, it's always a pleasure and a privilege, and really an honor to get down and be able to continue to speak with you and grow our brotherhood.
That's it.
Who am I, man? That's a tough question. I think I'm a work in progress. I don't think that a full picture is painted until you switch over and meet God. So, as you grow older, I feel like you're supposed to just be a work in progress. Couple highlights. I'm a musician. I'm into finances. I'm into stocks. I'm a Christian. And
that part.
You know what I'm saying? Had let them know who I rep.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm a proud member of the 609 community.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Word up. So 609, that's for anybody that don't know. That's Atlantic City. We go hard for us. Jersey strong.
You already know. South Jersey strong specific.
That's it. That's it.
Go over there on the other side.
No doubt. Well, listen, I just want to, for you, and then also for those who are watching, just explain what what Meraki podcast is all about. First of all, Meraki stands for doing whatever it is that you do with love and passion, and so that's what I try to do in every part of my aspect of life is do whatever I'm doing and make sure that I do it with passion. And so that's the whole concept of this podcast, and we'll just be going down the journey of what you did in regards to progressing in life, elevating. You've done some awesome things that I think the people will be very interested in talking about. So take me a little bit in regards to growing up.
Man, 609 born and bred.
What's it like growing up in Atlantic City?
Man, dude, bright lights, casinos,
yeah,
boardwalks, games, the hood a little bit, you know what I'm saying? Can't have one without the other. But overall molding, I think it's a molding city. I think it'll definitely mold you into who you need to be. I didn't grow up deep into the city like you did. I grew up on the other side of the bridge, more closer to Pleasantville. But yeah, I think that's what the city does to you. I think it really definitely molds you to be able to take on the world.
Yeah, I definitely can agree to that, man. From after school programs to the actual school, and then like all the other extracurricular activities that we went through, programs and different things like that. It definitely molds you. And a lot of people, I was just talking to a buddy of mine. I was like, man, if you can make it in New York, you can make it anywhere. But he actually rebutted me and said, man, if you can make it in Jersey, you can make it anywhere. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, all right, word. I like that idea. And so, yeah, man, we molded us into ambitious young men, go-getters. You know what I mean? So talk to us about high school. What was high school like for you? Where'd you go to school at?
So for all who may not know, Eric and I go back, I'll be 28 in March.
You'll be 28 in March?
I'll be 28 in March.
Yes, sir.
Me and E go back dang near to middle school, cornrows, nappy heads. But we both also went to high school together, and we went to Charter Tech High School for the Performing Arts all 4 years.
Yeah.
And I studied vocal music. at the time. I was really into my voice, really kind of just into singing. I was really inspired by Usher, inspired by Chris Brown, inspired a little bit by Trey Songz, Music Soul Child, just to name a few. But I
Yeah,
think at the time, those was my running for the gentleman I was definitely inspired by. And
yeah.
it was definitely a time, man. Go ahead, ask me whatever you need to ask me from about them days.
Well, how'd you get into music? How'd you first get started with music? Like, where did you discover that that's what you wanted to do?
So when I was a kid, church, like I said, was so important for my household growing up.
Yeah,
And Rodney Jerkins, Freddie Jerkins, the Jerkins brothers, are just part of the 609 legacy where
yes,
they've done music records for Michael Jackson, Whitney Houston, Chris Brown, Usher, the list goes on, the Grammy award-winning producers, writers. And for the longest time, I had really no idea what they did. I just knew that they had a lot of money and a lot of pull. Like my dad, God rest his soul, my dad met Whitney Houston at the church one time. She had came over there and sang for us.
yeah,
We had met Chris Tucker a couple times. So they were such influences on my life. And I don't know if I really ever really showed them the appreciation like they deserved, but seeing them continuously do music, come in on Sundays, play, be black men from the city and transform the way we looked at life.
yeah,
Because I feel like you can only see you as far as you can go from what's around you. So if you're around chaos and turmoil, the only thing you can be is chaos and turmoil. But if you can see success in somebody else, then you can start to see success in you. So they kind of laid a really great foundation for me, and they got me into music.
yeah. Do you remember what that first song was? That was like, man, I want to do that.
Dude, man, so on the weekends, I grew up, you know, we grew up very, like I said, in a Christian household. So we weren't really allowed to listen to a lot of rap and hip hop. If I wanted to sneak off and listen to Hove, I had to do that and burn the CD myself and, do it that way. But my mother always played Stevie Wonder Key of Life. I'll
Yeah,
never forget that. And one of her favorite songs from that album is Ribbon in the Sky.
yeah,
And that song for me has been one of my favorite songs to play. I
yeah,
don't care where I'm at, what I'm doing, man, I could play that song. So that one for me is the one I fell in love with.
yeah.
Mhm.
I know. You mentioned the Rodney Jerkins, the Jerkins family. I remember they had the Dark Child Studios in Pleasantville, uh, and some history behind that. Supposedly, not supposedly, but known fact was Michael Jackson uh, made Invincible there. Was that the album?
That was that 2002. Was that the one where you rock my world on it?
Yes.
Yes, that is not a rumor. That is a straight
That's a
fact.
straight fact, right?
That is a straight. Michael Jackson came to Pleasantville, New Jersey.
Pleasantville, New Jersey.
You know what I'm saying? Came right in the middle of the hood and recorded one of the biggest albums of all time with You Rock My
My
World.
opinion, bro. I think that's between that and Off the Wall, bro. I don't know, cuz.
I mean, I'm gonna give it to the six. I'm gonna give it to 609. I got to. I got to.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying?
It
Yeah, but
was a particular sound that they had. Like it was like a bounce to their music. Like, and maybe you can talk on this a little bit more, but like there's a certain sound that they have that when you cut their music on, you like, oh, that's definitely a Jerkin song. Speak to that a little bit. Like what is it? How important is it to have your own particular sound?
well, I think it's important to be a student before you can be a teacher.
Yeah,
And so what I mean by that is that like if you listen to Rodney and Freddie in an interview, they will give their success up to a Teddy Riley.
mm-hmm.
And Rodney will speak to you all day about how he studied Teddy Riley and how he studied everything Teddy Riley was doing. And I think in order for you to really be great at what you do, you got to study, right? We don't have Kobe without Michael. You know what I'm saying? We don't have a LeBron without Michael. And now we at a place where we don't have a John Morant without LeBron. So, you really have to study. So I feel like they study the people above them
Yeah,
and then took the tools and were able to then create. I feel like a lot of people in not just music, but just in life in general, they try to skip the part about being a student. But I think the greatest people that do the greatest things in life are the best students.
skipping steps. You can't skip the steps. You can't
Mm-mm.
skip the steps, man. And that's one of the first things. I've took a few leadership courses, and one of the first things that they always tell you is you got to be a good follower.
Yeah.
You gotta understand before you can lead. You gotta be able to follow before you can lead. I think that's one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in my progress in regards to like taking it to the next level. Like
Mm.
I know with acting, that was like I'm studying like Denzel, Sydney, but like where I got like the like my actual like all right, where I actually got my 10,000 hours in was right here in the 609. You know what I'm saying? So um, big thanks to my mom and Coach Mike and other amazing creators in the area. Please forgive me if I don't, you know, can't remember every name, but it's a
And
huge
shout
amount
out
of
to your
people
moms.
who play.
And shout out to your moms, man. Your moms always took care of me and showed me a lot of love. And Coach Mike, man, they kept us off the street and not into nothing stupid. So, shout out to them.
He's
That's
actually one of the guests on the podcast, Coach.
oh man.
Yeah,
Man, Coach
that's
Mike's
gonna
episode
be
gonna be
that's gonna
crazy.
be crazy. That's gonna be
Yeah.
crazy. Yeah, I'm actually looking forward to that one, man. Um, but yeah, man. So let's get back on track in regards to like that leadership, man. I think that that's one thing that we can kind of stick on when it comes to your leadership and how you move. Who are some of the people that you study in regards to being a phenomenal leader? And that's not in one particular area. I mean,
Mhm.
just in overall in life. What is who who is the person or people that you study or look up to when it comes to that?
Um, so as far as business and growing forward, I study a lot of Hove.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love Jay-Z. I love Jay-Z's story. Jay-Z's story is a pioneer and a real life story to what a lot of people who like us deal with on a daily basis about coming out from the environment you were in and turning it into something so much better. So I study a lot of him. I really do. His book, excuse me, the Michael Eric Dyson book about Jay-Z is such a great read and really like eye-opening, and hearing his music and things has definitely helped me pick out the type of man I want to be.
Yeah.
Um, Another great leader that I listen to a lot is definitely President Obama. Reading his book
Barack
again in a second.
Obama.
Mhm. And despite what everyone's politics are, we can't deny the first black president and the brilliance of what it is to be president
Mm-hmm.
and his mind specifically. I look a lot up to my father. I've been very blessed and very fortunate to have a father in my life, a good, active father in my life. I can't say that about a lot of people. And man, who else do I look up to? Um, I think as of recently, there's this guy on Instagram. His name is Grant Cardone, and I look up to Grant a lot. And I
Grant
love his
Cardone.
idea
Yeah.
of 10x.
What's what's that?
So Grant has this theory about life, and if I misspeak, forgive me, but he has this theory on life where, whatever your plans are, let's learn how to 10x it.
Yeah.
So if the goal is to win a championship, to 10x it will probably look like, how do I win multiple championships back to back to back? And then if the back to back to back is the goal, then it might be, well, how do I create a dynasty, a legacy?
Yeah.
And so, I think with that kind of theory and that kind of thinking, for me, it's been able to knock down the disbeliefs that I have in my mind about myself in order to continue to push forward for me in my life.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot like having systems in place and having structure.
Mhm.
Um, that sounds a lot like that in regards to 10xing it, because for you to 10x it, you have to have some sort of, for you to get the one championship, you got to have a system in place
Mhm.
to get to that process. So to have multiple, oh, most definitely. You know, Kevin Hart was in an interview, right? And he was like, it was like, yo, Kev, what you working on for the new year? And he was like, dude, I'm already a year and a half in advance. Like I've already got next year planned out. Like I already know what I'm going to, or then I got an animation movie that I'm gonna film, and then I got this film that I'm gonna do, and I know I gotta go and do exercise and work out my jokes. So I know that's a specific process for about 3 to 4 months maybe, and then I go into actually filming it. So and then you got to go through the editing and post. So having a structure like that plays a big part. I think this year would I think this year, coming into this year, planning for what's to come for this year. I think this is the most that I've ever put intentional, um, like mental work into what my year is looking like. You know what I mean? A lot of that could possibly go because I have a family now, so like it has to be structured. But like I noticed in my life that structure was the only way that I succeeded. It wasn't not having structure; it was always having some sort of system in place. Like even from like you said, from us growing up, there was a system in place. So when I left out of school, I went straight over to the PAL building. When I left the PAL building, I went to football practice. After I left football practice, I went home. There was no time in between for me to be able to really be out in the street getting into stuff. And that possibly saved my life. So
Mhm.
structure is not only for youth, but like for the most successful person, he has a regiment in the morning and throughout his day that he follows to be able to execute into 10x his process, right? So
Mhm.
man, I think that's so big, bro. I think that's so big.
And man, you know what? I left one person off the list, and I can't believe I left him off the list, man. Floyd Money Mayweather. Floyd Money, man.
And why him? Because a lot of people look at him as like, oh, he's like this cocky or braggadocious dude. I have my own opinion about him. I think it's
Right,
deeper than that. But why Floyd for you?
man. We can't deny 50-0. I think that's step one. 50 and
Undefeated.
we can't let that
The
out.
system.
You know what I mean? But I think the craziest thing, and actually I didn't even hear him say it. I heard another person say it about them. And I think it's one thing for you to talk about yourself, but to hear somebody passionate talk about you is a little different. So one of his ex-assistants got on a podcast talking about what her day looked like.
Mm-hmm,
And she said, I had to wake up at 4 a.m. every day with Floyd.
mm-hmm.
She said she would go to training camp with Floyd. And she said to this day, she knows when Floyd is in the gym, how many hours he's in the gym. And I think whatever your craft is or whatever sets your soul on fire, you need to have a Mayweather type of mentality.
Man,
Because I think, people see the braggadocious and the money and the Lambos and the jets and the Miami crib and the Vegas crib, da 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 da. But I'm gonna tell you this, man. When you the best and you the greatest of all time, shoot, you gotta brag about you, man.
right.
Cause they not gonna do it.
They're
They
not
not
gonna
gonna
do it for you.
no, they're not gonna
They're
do it
gonna
for
call
you.
you cocky and call you all this other stuff because
Right.
you're so good at what you do.
And you know what, too? I feel like a lot of times it's a reflection of other people's insecurities too.
Projecting.
Because I feel like for me, like when I hear people go so hard on athletes and musicians or anyone doing what they love and what they're passionate about at a high level, you gotta look back and be like, are you really upset? Or are you upset about where you are in your life? Or the famous, oh, you wish that was you, huh? You know what I mean? You want, you know what I'm saying? You want to be driving the Lambo. You want the jet. You want the bag, the beautiful girl that all of us want. Da 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 da. You want to have all the money in the pocket. Have a meal on you. So I mean, far as Floyd, yeah, that Floyd Mayweather discipline, man, that's something different. I hope he come out with a
Like
book.
that. That's different. I heard Mamba mentality. I've even heard Jordan mentality. I've never heard Mayweather mentality.
Hey man, Money Team,
One
holla
like
at
that.
me.
And both of those other two have taken losses before, but not Money Mayweather. That's deep. That's good. Hey, that's
Money
the
man.
title of the episode. Mayweather mentality, baby. Let's go.
Oh yeah, I'm with it. I'm with it. Hey, tell them to come holler at me. I get to
You know what I'm
give.
saying? Let's go. All right, man. So tell me a little bit about college, man. This is I know you, bro, but this is like I've known you since high school. This particular part we're getting ready to dive in is one of my most I brag about you about this. Um because you are a example, a positive example of what it is to persevere. Tell me a little bit about college and your process in college, bro.
We talking about school one or we talking about school two?
All three of them.
All three of them. Okay. So
Combination.
okay. So I think we need to start a little bit back at high school.
Okay.
So Charter Tech, I don't know, no school is perfect. I didn't have a great experience at Charter Tech my last 2 years.
No doubt.
Um, I really wasn't in a position musically to have great things on my resume. I never really got some of the opportunities that other people got. And not saying I was jealous, just saying I just didn't get some of those opportunities that would have made my resume look a lot better.
Right.
And I always had this dream of going to Berkeley. And that never left my mind, that never left my sights. Unfortunately, I didn't get into Berkeley in my undergrad. I didn't even apply for it. But I did get into a small liberal arts college in North Carolina called Catawba College in Salisbury, North Carolina. Of all places, this kid from 609 could have went. I was in North Carolina.
Yeah.
And man, them years are some of the best years of my life. Some of the best years of my life. I've had some of the most fun. Been in a couple plays, did a lot of music, did some conducting work, really dove deep into my music, dove deep into my singing, got back on piano, and that was a great time. I learned from one of the best instructors in North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I bet my life on that.
Yeah.
And that led up to the full circle. It goes full circle. What Drake said, full circle. Sammy had me on my Urkel.
Huh?
And yeah.
That's
And
good.
I got into Berkeley for my graduate degree and I finished. I went there for 2.5 years and I finished. And that was eye-opening to see that whenever something or someone tries to put an obstacle in front of you, it's how bad do you really want to go through it?
Yeah. Why'd you want to go through that though? Like, what made you say, all right, after this undergrad, like instead of coming home or staying out in North Carolina and just getting a job, why'd you say grad school is the way?
Job wasn't finished.
The job wasn't finished.
Job wasn't finished.
Yeah.
Job was not finished, man. I got up every day at around 4 or 5 a.m. depending to
Yeah.
play this piano, to practice this piano.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna be left out the championship. I just wasn't gonna be left out. There was nothing that was gonna stop me. There was nothing that was gonna stop me.
Yeah.
And I think that test, I think that story, that specific part of my life, that is my Mayweather mentality right there.
Yeah.
Where getting up every day, not really hanging out, not seeing, because I was well known on campus. It was a small campus, but I really wasn't.
You was Mr.
hanging out.
Topic on campus, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
Slight
couple of
brag, you know what
awards.
I'm saying? Slight
I got a
brag,
couple
you
of
know what I
awards. You
mean?
know what I'm saying? I got a couple things in the, I got a couple things in the tuck.
You know what I mean? I'm just saying.
But you know what, man? And you know what? Kobe said this too. It's like, you can hang, but can you hang?
Can you hang?
Like, can you really hang? Like, he was telling a story about how he took the Lakers wanted to take him out, and he went to the club for the first time. Da 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 da. And he was like, "All right, I hope y'all know in 2 hours we're going to practice," and they couldn't hang. And
Right.
so really, really understanding that let me know, all right, if I'm gonna go out over here, I need to put in work over here,
Right. Right.
you know. And this is the goal. This playing piano, getting better at music, that was the goal. Getting to where I was the goal.
Yeah.
Not that. And I think over time you start to realize what's important for you and what's important to you.
Yeah.
And music is still so important to me. It has not left. It's
Yeah.
been my safe space.
Yeah. That part. That part. Man, I remember we would be in college and we would have phone calls, man. Like we would just be on the phone, like doing our annual brother check-in. Not even annual, our frequent daily brother check-in. And I remember like when you were like deciding on taking that step and going to grad school, I'm like, because mind you, I had took a year off, and I was like, I ain't going to college. I ain't going. Well, I didn't say I wasn't going back. I said I just need some time away. If this don't work out in a year, I'll go back. Eventually did that, but and I know you know the exact conversation we had. I was out of school. It was my junior year of college. You were graduating this year,
Ah,
and you was like, "Yo, E, I'm going to go and get that master's." I said, "Yo, Duane, if you go and get that master's, I'll go back to school." And sure enough, you went and got your master's. I said, "While you going to go get your master's, I'm gonna go and get my undergrad. And by the time you get your master's, I'm gonna get my undergrad."
mhm.
The job was done, and we stuck to our word. But I I didn't go back only because of you. But man, you played a huge part because I'm like, yo, if my brother can do it, and he's doing it by himself. You know what I'm saying? Like he ain't got no family out there in North Carolina. Like he out there dolo, getting it. If you can do it, why can't I, fam? And I got my family behind me. I got my family like right here. I'm 2 hours away. Why can't I do it? So you definitely was a huge inspiration and a mental like accountability partner for making sure that I completed what we said we was gonna complete. And so I just want to say, yo, I'm proud of you and thank you for that, bro. Thank
Appreciate that, King.
you.
I
Yeah.
appreciate it. Yeah, for real.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about with you being out there in college, man, and all those distractions. What kept you focused?
Um, there's a version of me in my mind that I'm not there yet. So for me, I always have to complete the task and I always have to be the best
Yeah.
at what I'm doing or what's in front of me. And I think that as much fun as I had, as much partying as I did, you know, you kind of sit back and you got to realize, I had to realize, did I want to be known for being the guy you could turn up with? Or did I want to be the guy known for like knowing all the pretty girls, or did I want to be known for that, or did I want to be known for being a legend and putting in hard work and doing the impossible? And I kind of got known for being both, but I wanted to lean more on doing the impossible.
Hey, well, listen, if you work hard, you might as well party hard too,
You know
bro.
what I'm saying?
I'm
But
just
I
saying.
ain't with me know for knowing all the pretty
You know
girls.
what I mean? College, you only
You know
get
what
that
I'm
college
saying?
experience once, player. I'm just saying. I'm
Oh,
just
now.
saying.
But I wanted to be
There's
known for being
definitely
a legend, man. I wanted to be
a
known for being
balance.
a legend.
And a healthy balance because you understood that, yo, I'm gonna go out here, I'm gonna party, but I'm also gonna get back into the classroom and get into these books. Like that's just what it is. Um, and it's funny because I think that you had that before you even got to college. Like you had that mentality before you even got to college. Like you was focused. You did martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You did a lot of things. You were in the performing arts workshop. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You was also doing your thing in school. You know what I'm saying? So having that, I seen it. It was like, and we got closer more when we graduated high school, but like I saw the signs. You know what I mean? I saw the signs, which is why I gravitated towards you more. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? All right, let's talk a little bit more about doctorates. Do you have any plans on getting your doctorate?
Ooh. Man, I've thought about it. I've thought about it. I really have. And I feel like if I do go back and get my doctorate, I gotta go to Harvard.
No doubt. Wow.
I gotta, um I specifically want to go to Harvard to get my doctorate because I think Harvard's one of the most acclimated schools we have in the world. So, if I could get my foot in the door, I'm definitely gonna get that. I'm definitely gonna get it out of there.
No doubt.
But do I have like a set plan to get to be Dr. Leatherberry? Nah, I don't. I don't. And the reason why is because, I want to focus more on my business and where I'm growing in my business.
Yeah.
And so that's the refocus. That's my Mayweather mentality. That's where my Mayweather mentality is at right now. It's definitely on the business.
No doubt. What's one thing what's one lesson from your childhood that still stands to be true today?
My Uncle Bunky used to always say to us, stick
Uncle
together.
Bunk. Hold
Uncle
on.
Bunky.
We ain't about to slide
Yeah.
past that, cuz Uncle Bunky, baby. Let's
Uncle Bunky.
go.
Uncle
He
Bunky was
definitely
some
from the
wisdom,
city,
man.
bro. He from the city somewhere.
Yeah, he is. He is, man. Uncle Bunky from the city, man.
Yes, sir.
One of the coldest players ever. But he always told Eric and I, not this Eric in front of me. I have another brother named Eric as well, ironically. But he always told Eric and I when we was coming up, he said, stick together and do the right thing. And I think it's very, very important who you stick with and who you do the right thing with.
Yeah.
Um, and that's been so important for me because, as I've grown through my life, I've had situations where I thought people were sticking with me and they weren't.
Yeah.
And vice versa. There were times where I wasn't doing the right thing.
No doubt. Respect.
So, I always felt when I was sticking together with the right people and doing the right thing, I was maximizing all of my time.
Yeah.
And I think that was the simplest blueprint I've ever been given on the game of life, sticking together and doing the right thing because now I'm well known in about 3 major cities. And I ain't the mayor, but if I need to get something done, I can get it done. And sticking together, doing the right thing, and doing right by people. People have done right by me. So I think that's been the most important lesson I think I've gotten, and I continue to live by that code.
Straight like that. That's an OG code right there. Hey yo, if y'all don't know, that's my little brother, but he an OG to me. You hear me?
Come on now,
That's Pablo right there. Come
come
on.
on now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, if you could have a redo, bro, would you take it? Yes or no? And why?
Man, I'm gonna say no.
Straight like that.
I'm gonna say no because what God got for me, God's got for me.
Come on now.
And if I go back and I put my pen on it, it's not gonna come
Mm,
from God.
it's not gonna come out the same.
Not gonna come out the same. And honestly, it might come out a little poisonous, to be honest with you.
Come on now.
If I'm gonna really talk that talk, it might come out poisonous. So,
Straight bars.
I feel like, for me, man, I got a lot of life left to live. Um, and yeah, man, mistakes, not having money, having a couple dollars, the women I've dated, everything I've done, every mistake, every award, every high, every low. Give it to me again, just how I got it the first time.
Straight like that.
Yeah, man, because I feel like a lot of times us as humans, we go back and we kind of ponder in the past and we kind of ponder what we could have done differently or what I could have done then and there or any kind of thing. But I think the hard times make you for when it's easy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? If you had a life full of ease, how lazy would you be?
Oh man. Oh man.
If everything came to you, you didn't work for nothing a day in your life, how lazy would you be?
Yo, you talking about psycho? Yo, all right. So here's the thing, right? I took in my time going back to school, I took a theories of personality psychology course, and it would talk about the older sibling syndrome, the middle child syndrome, and the younger child syndrome. And the oldest child, because he's the first child or she's the first child, they are like the test dummy of like how what parenting really works like, right? So like there's a lot of like clashing here, right? And
Mhm.
they get like if you ask any parent, they be like, "Oh, my first child was like my toughest experience. The second one, oh, that was a breeze. It was a breeze because they got the process in motion, right?" So
Mhm.
with that theory, though, comes a few things. Meaning, the older sibling always feels like they have gone through the most, they were tested the most, where the youngest child didn't necessarily go through as much. They were catered to, they were babied, and they were sheltered. And so as they progress through life, their experiences are completely different because of how they were brought up. And that right there, because you're the oldest sibling.
Mhm.
You were the oldest sibling. And so I'm the oldest sibling.
Yep, we got that in common too.
We got that in common too. And I know that my battle scars are tested, bro. And so it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but I think that the scar battles that I have, I can pass down to my younger brother so that he and my younger sibling, so that they ain't got to go through that. And so sometimes though, the downfall of that is the younger one is like when they start going through stuff, it's sometimes it's a little different in how they resolve their issues because of how they were brought up. And so I'm just saying all that to say sometimes we gotta refocus how we move forward and elevate and go through those dark moments, man. Even if you're the youngest one, you definitely gonna go through some stuff. So prepare yourself for it. And how do you prepare yourself? You know what I mean? Bane said, "Yo, I was born in the dark." When he said to Batman,
Mhm.
I was born in the dark, Batman." Like you,
Yeah.
when you cut these lights out on me, I know where everything is because this is where I was built. This is where I was molded. So yeah, most definitely, man. Battle scars is what it is. And you know, I had a different perspective on battle scars. I like that. I would like to hide my battle scars, but
Mhm.
like I found joy and um, liberation in showing the scars because that's what made me. That's what made me. That's why I am who I am. That's why I have the ambition that I had.
Mhm. You know, there's a cold episode of Family Odd Parents, the old cartoon, man. And Timmy was mad about something with his hat. And he had wished everyone would be the same. The Blob episode, and
Mm,
Cosmo and Wanda couldn't find him, and
mm,
he had to
mm.
stick out.
Yeah,
So,
that's what
like,
they wear the all gray, right?
yeah, it was all great. Man, I encourage everybody, if you feel lost in life, you can be perfect. Go ahead and look at that episode, man. Let life really let life teach you a lesson or two.
Yeah.
I think that our scar, I think because we go through things, I don't think that we use the right term. I think we use the word scars, but I really think we should use the word color
Mm,
because I feel like, no matter the negative things that you or I have gone through, we also have a lot of sunshine in our lives as well. And that's part of what makes us different too.
yeah.
So, I don't think it's really just about showing your scars or, your imperfections. And I don't even think your imperfections are really negative. I mean, I wear glasses, I can't see, but I love it. I love wearing my glasses. I used to not want to wear glasses because no one else did. But then I had to realize, you know what? That's a color of mine is that I wear glasses.
Yeah.
Or any of the thousand things that I've gone through in my lifetime. So I feel like, we have to continue to paint and be different. Paint and be different.
That part. What's your favorite scripture, bro?
Mm, Jeez.
Or if you can't give me a favorite, what's a scripture that has been heavy on your mind lately?
Um, I think my favorite thing I've heard from the Bible is love everything and everyone as I have loved you. And I say that because I know what it's like to always be judged for everything that you want to do.
Mm,
And I know what it's like to be in a room full of people and they know you and don't know you.
yeah,
And so for me, I think it's important now with men's mental health and the way how high Black men's suicidal rate is, and seeing people from different demographics go through things. And I feel like we're all missing an outpour of love that we're all yearning for, but no one wants to say it because everybody wants to be hard and not want to show emotion. But the idea of not showing an emotion is an emotion.
man, that's trauma in itself.
So so I feel like, a lot of times a lot of people just need like a lot of love. And for me, I think that scripture has given me hope too in making it to heaven, because it's like, okay, like no matter what I've done in my lifetime, God said love everybody. So I'm included in everybody. So, I think that for me is one of the strongest scriptures we got in the Bible. That's just me. What about you?
I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. But before we get there, um, you just made me think of something. We talked about all your high moments. Um, but I know from my own experience that through my high moments, there were some dark moments. So without necessarily tapping into one particular situation, what was that? Did you go through any dark moments in those moments as you're progressing through college and getting your undergrad and going to get your master's? And if so, how did you deal and cope with that and heal?
Man.
Because I think that's so important because you did have a lot of those moments, but like school's not easy.
Mm-mm.
School's not easy and life ain't easy. And so you're
Mm.
dealing with both of those at the same time. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Man, I was broke all 4 years of undergrad. I
Okay.
don't think my checking account at one point in time had more than $100 in it.
Yeah.
Um, I was very depressed, very homesick. Um, I hid a lot of my pain through drinking at the time. And it's crazy because I had a relative, someone really close to me, who had lost a battle with addiction. So it was crazy to see me spiral a little bit. And so, I had to like grab up my bootstraps. But I think one of the things that I'm working on in my life is actually talking to people when I'm not okay.
Mm.
And I feel like in those dark times, you want to shut the world out, you want to lash out, you want to throw stuff, you want to cuss everybody out, knock somebody out, hit somebody across the head. You want to do all these things, but like you'll trade it away just for somebody to be in front of you and say, "Yo, I see you. I like it's okay." So I feel like consistently during those dark times that the prayer and knowing that tomorrow could be better helped me out of those dark times and dark situations.
Is there any counseling? I know I know personally through for me, I definitely had some counseling. Um, but I was a little resistant towards it at
Mhm.
first. And I was against it because nobody in our community really spoke about that.
Mhm.
And I think it wasn't, even though a lot of people are like, oh, you don't gotta go tell you, because most psychiatrists and therapists are white, or like the demographic of those professionals are white. You're like, well, you don't gotta go tell your business to some white person. Like, you ain't gotta go do that. And it's like, I feel you, but hold on a minute. I feel,
Man,
so what did you experience any therapy, any counseling?
so I have never really been to a professional
Okay.
about some of my trauma I've been through. Now, a couple of homies have told me, "Hey, you might want to go talk about X, Y, and Z," but I have not gone yet. I'm not gonna lie
Are
on
you
your
opposed
podcast.
to it, or is it you just haven't explored that option just yet?
I think I'm just running.
Okay, that's
I
honest.
think I'm just
That's
running
honest. That's honest.
because I've got a lot of things that I've kept inside of me for so long, and certain stories I've had to keep inside of me for so long that I'm so scared to tap on the dam because it might bust.
Yeah,
And I don't want to put myself in that situation or put myself in a situation where I spiral back out of control.
yeah.
Because the way my mind works and what I've realized about myself is that if I'm in motion, I'm gonna be okay. But if I'm not in motion and I'm telling myself I'm sad, I'm depressed, da 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 da, it'll come true.
You
And then
start to eat
you
yourself
stop.
into it.
Yeah, then you start taking care of yourself, then you start, just spiraling from there. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of times I think we need to redefine what depression looks like. I feel like a lot of times depression always looked like the kid who sat in the back of school with his hoodie up, head down, and just saying that they were done with the world. And I'm not saying that that person didn't need the attention that they got, but a lot of times what I've found in my lifetime is like, yo, the people who smile the most
Hmm.
will carry the most. Man, let me tell you, man, listen, I've known some people that you would never think they've gone through what they've gone through. You never would have imagined some of the things that they've gone through because they smiling. So everyone assumes, oh man,
Actually, well,
yeah, you like, yo, man, he happy. Like, what you mean he done went through that or she went through that? I'm like, no, no, no. Behind all that smile, boy, it's something back there.
yeah. Like you can have all the success in the world and like still be going through stuff. Like we forget that like though you have money, that doesn't stop life from life, and like it don't stop God from putting certain things in your proximity for you to get stronger. Like God is not a man of persons. Like he don't care your title. Like he don't care nothing about that. Like he wants to know, are you for him or not?
Mhm.
Like and and just as much as God is like that, life is like that. Like life don't have no favorites. You know what I'm saying? We do as people, but
Mhm.
like life don't have no favorites either. Like it's gonna take its course, you know what I mean? And there's nothing that we can do about that. And so I think that we have to be a little bit more empathetic. I used to think that. I'm like, man, if I could have money, all my troubles would go away. And it'd be like, yo, if anything, you're actually inviting more more trouble, you know what I'm saying? So or just you're saying, yo, you're bringing on more things because with more blessings comes more responsibility. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you it don't get easier. You get stronger. We get
Mhm.
stronger. I also want to say to you, bro, that tapping that dam, there's nothing wrong with that. In my first therapy session, I cried. I cried. And that's where my breakthrough came.
Mhm.
If we're gonna break the dam, let's break it so I can get my breakthrough. You know what I mean? Um, I was just talking about it on my IG live yesterday.
Mhm.
What you sow in tears, God said that you'll reap in joy. So it's okay to cry.
I
It's
like
okay to
that.
cry. Ain't nothing wrong with that. And when I first started doing counseling with my pastor, my new pastor now, I asked him, I said, hey, Pastor, do you think that therapy and Jesus can coexist with one another? Because where you go to feed your spirit, um, you do get life lessons through that. But there's certain things like they say, well, if you want to get something off your mind or get something off your heart, you should confess it to your brother, and that'll and in that relationship, if it's healthy, will help you forward. But sometimes there's certain things that you may not feel comfortable, or I may not feel comfortable with in talking to you. Not that I don't trust you. I'm actually embarrassed about it, and I don't want you to judge me. I don't want you to. I don't want to think that you're judging me as I'm telling you this. So I'm not going to tell you. But even in that, there is a benefit to doing the therapy thing because they give you tools. Just like when you go to church, the pastor's giving you spiritual tools. You're also getting mental wellness tools to be able to deal with some of the stuff that I won't say Jesus can't fix, but you may need a little bit extra work in addition to. You know what I'm saying?
Extra homework.
Extra work. You know what I'm saying? So ain't nothing that Jesus can't fix, but
Right.
therapy is also good too. And he agreed with me. I said all that to say he agreed with me in regards to that. That's actually somebody else that I'm going to be interviewing for the podcast, bro.
Oh, you gonna get passed on him?
Get Pastor Curry on the podcast. So that's going to be a really dope interview too, man. But I thank you for being vulnerable and being honest with me, bro, because that's such a naked feeling.
Yeah.
Saying, yo, listen, I know that it might be a benefit or I'm going through something, and then also say, this is what I was doing to kind of cope with it. You know what I'm saying? People don't do that. People aren't honest with themselves enough to be able to do that. So I think that you have an intellectual advantage in that aspect. You know what I'm saying? And that self-awareness that is so good. That is so good. We're going to start wrapping it up, but at the end of every episode, I like to fire out rapid questions. You get like 3 seconds to answer, or I'll go to the next question.
Well, let me sit up. Let me get ready.
You ready?
All right, yeah. Hit me with it.
All right. Favorite movie?
Training Day.
Favorite cologne?
Oh, man.
Oh.
Ralph Lauren Purple Label.
Say that one more time.
Ralph Lauren Purple Label.
Favorite dish?
Lobster mac and cheese.
Cheesecake Factory or Red Lobster?
Man, you already know where I'm going.
Where you going, Duane?
Yeah, you know I'm going cheese. I'm a proud Cheesecake Factory owner. Don't play with me. I got them stocks, baby. Y'all live, y'all want to. This whole epidemic, y'all got this Cheesecake Factory. I've been over here making money. Don't do that.
Let's go. Let's go. All right, 500K or dinner with Jay-Z?
Man, me Hove.
You and me Hove.
Uh-huh.
Faith or fear?
Faith.
All right. Hey, man, I thank you for joining me on this episode, brother. It was a pleasure, man. I love you, dog.
Love you, man.
You my homie. And I want to thank you guys for joining us on this amazing episode of the Meraki podcast. Join us again next week as we interview. Yeah. Hey!